Hi everyone, it's Marianne. Welcome to my Wishes Live. So today I am going to repot this Monstera Deliciosa. So this is actually supposed to be my first episode of Sip and Propagate. This is an episode of my propagation series. I also want it to be like there's a twist to it, like I drink something and I pot something, but I haven't found the right name for this series. So now it's Sip and Propagate while I sip this iced coffee. I'm filming this post-apocalypse, so there are no more Starbucks open, and so I just made my own. Not that I go to Starbucks often anyway, so if the audio is bad, I'm sorry. I'm not wearing my microphone. I'm filming outside. The audio is set on automatic, so we'll see just what happens. I filmed some clips of this Monstera Deliciosa already when I did some cuttings on it and propagated it and repotted those propagations. I also have sold those propagations since at Facebook Marketplace, so I can't show you them now, but I should have clips of them, me repotting those propagations. So I'm also propagating this Monstera Deliciosa. I'm propagating it mostly for sale, and I'm also going to be propagating parts that I am going to be planting outside. So these are the cuttings that I got. 1, 2. I don't know if this 2 would survive, but we will try. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So all of these I'm just water propagating for now, and then I'll figure out what to do with them later. So here I'm repotting one of the Monstera Deliciosa cuttings. It has grown a lot of roots already in the water propagation, so I'm just gonna pot it up right now. And Monsteras actually could be potted directly into soil after you cut them from the mother plant, especially if they already have aerial roots, but at that time when I did all the cuttings, I didn't have any soil yet, so I had to water propagate them. So now I can pot this one up because it has grown a lot of secondary roots already, so it needs to be potted up already. So the potting mix I'm using is the organic potting mix that I got, but I did add a bit more perlite to it and some plantain. So I'm just gonna... There's a very bored child singing in the playground next to my house, so that's gonna be the background music to this. But I'm putting this netting just so there won't be a lot of soil spillage when I am watering this. So I'm just gonna put some at the bottom, not a lot. And then I have a feeling it will outgrow this pot real soon, but I am not keeping this plant. I am selling this too. So whoever buys it from me just have to repot it once it outgrows this pot. But honestly, mine has been in the same pot since I got in it, and it did pretty well. So I don't think they really need to repot or upsize the pot right away, but it's up to them. So yeah, and this is also about to shoot out a new growth over here too. This is the Monstera repotted. Hard to put it in frame, but yeah. But now I'm actually going to take this one out of this pot, because if you remember from 25 Days of Plantmas, for those of you who have been with me for a while and actually watched my videos from 25 Days of Plantmas, this one was already outgrowing its pot. What I'm going to do with this, I'm not going to upsize the pot, but I'm going to take out some of the plants that I propagated from and separate them and put them to a different container and propagate those separately. But yeah, so my dog is barking. There are kids in the playground, so sorry for that. In my second episode of Houseplant Back to Basics, I already shared with you my soil and soil amendment. So this is that. So I'm not going to show it to you now. You can just watch this video if you're interested. But I'm just adding more Plantone to my potting mix. This is just the indoor potting mix that I got. I ran out of Coco Coir, and I would order some from Amazon now because that's the only place I could get it. But I don't want to order from Amazon right now if I can help it, if I don't really need to. So I am just gonna stick with what I have right now. So here's this one. So it is tied to a pole. I am trying to not take out the pole, but we will see. Actually, you know what? Let me just take it out. So I am just untying it. None of the roots have attached itself to the pole, so it's easier for me to do this. But I originally also planned to just repot it with the pole attached, but I don't know. I feel like that would be a bad move, so I'm just gonna do it like this now. So how have you all been doing? How have you been dealing with the apocalypse? Or the corona apocalypse? Baby. Oh my god, my hands are so dry. I've been washing them so much, it's like it's bruising. And now it's so ashy and dry. But wash your hands, people. It's very important. I'm gonna pull the moss pole out first. And then I'm gonna take out this plant. So over here there are like plants that I propagated from or made cuttings from. They have new growth coming out, but I just want to separate them and let them grow by themselves. So I think there's about 3 of them that I'm going to separate from this pot. Trying to do this as carefully as I can. Don't know how successful I would be, but like I mentioned in my Instagram or in my spring houseplant tour, that should go up before this one. I've said that I am in the process of rehoming a lot of my plants and just cutting down my plant collection. And I mean, I already planned that even before all of this stuff happened, but I think the process just sped up and I'm selling more plants that I originally planned to. Just because, not that I don't think it's wise to be having this much plants during this time, but for me, speaking for myself, it's just not practical. So I'm just, especially since I'm trying to grow a garden, and especially since I'm trying to grow a garden outside, it's just too much work to have all of these house plants and also grow a garden. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to monitor my phone because I have a plant buyer stopping by to buy my burgundy ficus elastica as well as some of my mango plants. So, and earlier today I delivered a plant in DC and the streets were so empty, and because people were still going to the tidal basin where we have the cherry blossoms, because normally at this time this is the cherry blossom festival. Because people were still going there and not social distancing, they blocked off the roads. And right now on a Sunday, during Sundays in DC, like the streets will be packed with people going to brunch, but now the streets were empty. But yeah, so this is the root system of this Monstera Deliciosa, and it definitely needs to be repotted. So let's do that now. Kind of like with this Syndaptus Pictus Exotica, when I repotted it, again, that might be on my IGTV, that might be coming after this, or it might have come before this. I would link it either way when it comes out, but I tried to separate them by massaging the roots gently and patiently, and like roots like this would fall out. I am not scared with like root fallout. I actually done this when the first time I got my Monstera, because it came in a 10-inch pot and I wanted to put it in a smaller pot because at that time I didn't want my Monstera to be too large. But now I don't really care, but I also just want to separate it so that these smaller plants are not part of this plant anymore, and so that I can still fit it in back there. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna end up trimming these roots anyway, but if you don't want to do that, just be gentle with how you massage the roots out, and it's just gonna take a long time. But if you do see some break off, don't be scared, because Monsteras bounce back very easily, and they're very easy care plants, to be honest. And so I'm not really worried about this plant as I try to repot it now. So this is going to take some time. I'm just going to try to do a time lapse or do it off camera. So I thought I'll be able to reuse this soil, but because there's so many root fallout, I'm probably just going to end up composting this. And so these were the separations. It's this one with this crazy amount of root. So this is kind of like the main plant, and this is like the secondary one, the beta. So this two I'm still gonna pot up together, and then this one I am going to repot separately, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I might sell it too, but we will see. Then also the main ones that I want to separate was this one, just all roots, but it has like a new growth coming out. And then this one, also roots with nodes. And then this one, roots with nodes, also something coming out. So this one I'm also gonna pot up separately into smaller containers, which I didn't get, but we'll do that later. And this one, compost. So hopefully I'll have enough potting soil, because I don't think I do. And I also got a larger pot to repot the main one, just because I don't think the smaller one would work anymore like I hope it would. See if I can reuse some of this soil. I think I can reuse some of it. I'm just gonna put it at the bottom so it will just be compost in the end. I mean, other houseplant people are not probably gonna use this, but ever since I started gardening, I kind of understand soil mix a bit more, so I'm not worried doing this. But if you are a plant beginner, don't do this. Just use fresh potting soil all the way. But I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm also going to put a little bit of planktone at the bottom. Mix it in. And then put this back in. Okay, so trying to get this to face a certain way, honestly. If I trim this off, it's not going to be the end of the world, but let me just keep it in for now. And then this one over over here. I'm trying to get it to face a certain way so that when I put the moss, I put the moss bowl back, and it should be like that. Alright, so let me put soil. Alright, maybe it's easier if I use my other hand, lift it a little bit higher so that it's not. I'm gonna tie them now so that the moss bowl could support them already, and I have both of my hands so that I could use both of my hands. Other bag of potting mix to pot up the others. So yeah, so one way you could propagate your plants is to just separate them, because most of the time when you buy plants from garden centers or even nurseries, they put several plants in there, and as they mature they become too big for their pot. So especially if you don't want to resize your pot, because this one is not really that much bigger than this one, as you can see. But if you want to keep it into the same pot, or you just want to propagate and give some away or sell some away, sometimes the best way to do that and the quickest way to do that is just separate extra plants that you have in that same pot, instead of waiting for something to propagate first before you could sell or give them away. Okay, so I think that is that for the main one. Alright, so I got some more soil and I am going to pot the rest of this up. This one I'm putting it in a nursery pot just because I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I don't know if I'm going to keep it, if I'm going to sell it, but I am just going to pot it up and see what's going on with this. Whew. Alright, same thing, put a little bit of plantain, mix it up, and I am going to pot this one up. And so there's already a new growth popping out over there, so I'm just gonna make sure that it points up a little bit. So this one's going to be not standing up like that. Maybe it will be, but not too much. Okay, so let me do this really quick. I'm also out of perlite, so but normally I would add perlite to this new bag, but I'm not trying to go out right now, at least not as much. If I don't need to, I try not to. So no perlite for this one, so I'm trying. But this one is a very coarse potting mix, a lot of tree bark. Alright, so that one was quick. And then for the little nubbins, like this one, and this one, and this one, I am going to put them in nursery pots. This one I am going to propagate here, see what happens. This one too. This one I am planting outside. Just see what happens, if it grows, how it will grow outside. So I'm going to put that aside. I am going to do that later on. I might film it, I might not, because this video is probably way too long already. And I am just gonna pot it up and then see what happens with this tiny nubbins. I don't know why I keep calling them nubbins, but like propagations. Alright. And then this one. Looks interesting. Okay, so we'll see what will happen with that one and this one. And this one is gonna go outside. So I'm just gonna cover it up with the old soil so it just doesn't dry out. And it's also easier for me to bring it to the compost bin that way. Yep. So that's it for this episode of Sip and Propagate. These are my monsteras. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video of me propagating all of these plants through regular cuttings, propagating it in water, potting them up, and then just propagating by separating them. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, I hope you subscribe. I come out with houseplants and sustainable lifestyle videos every week. And if you haven't yet, go check out this video up here until my next one. But until then, please stay safe, wash your hands, practice social distancing, and have a plentiful day. Bye.